Mr. Lear, just want you to know we came and quit. Okay, Department of Government Evil.
No, I'm trying to be you. All right.
Good afternoon. Today we stand together as House Democrats with the American people to push back against this reckless Republican budget. This is a critical moment in the American journey. Everything we care about is under assault. The economy is under assault. The safety net is under assault. Our very way of life as a country is under assault. Democracy itself is under assault. Donald Trump, the administration, and House Republicans are hurting the American people. It's unacceptable, unconscionable, un-American, and we are not going to stand for it 1 minute. The Republican budget represents the largest Medicaid cut in American history. Children will be devastated. Families will be devastated. People with disabilities will be devastated. Seniors will be devastated. Hospitals will be devastated. Nursing homes will be devastated. So let me be clear, House Democrats will not provide a single vote to this reckless Republican budget. Not one. Not one. Not one. They will not get a single Democratic vote. Why? Because we're voting with the American people. We're voting with the American people. We will push back against the Republican budget today. We will push back against the Republican budget tomorrow. We will push back against the reckless Republican budget until it's buried deep in the ground, never to rise again. Never to rise again. We stand with the American people until victory is won. The reckless Republican budget will hurt everyday Americans who rely on Medicaid, rely on nutritional assistance, and rely on veterans benefits. This is not a reality show. This is not a joke. This is not politics as usual. It's a matter of life and death. And so we will stand with the American people. Stand with them today, stand with them tomorrow, stand with them next week, stand with them next month, stand with them this year, stand with them next year, stand with the American people until victory is won, this budget is defeated, and America is restored. So it's our honor as House Democrats to be joined today by three incredible Americans whose quality of life depends on all of us stopping this reckless Republican budget, which is a betrayal of the American people. We need to listen to these stories. We're committed to making sure that these everyday Americans can tell these stories and that their stories are heard all across the land. With that, it's my honor to turn it over to Rosa Lozano, who is here to tell an important story.
Good afternoon, everyone. Like was mentioned, my name is Rosa Lozano. I'm here to tell the story of Leslie Bernedo. Her daughter, Alejandra, experienced a serious medical emergency last night and was not able to join us today. We're praying for Leslie and Alejandra, but she asked that I share her story with you all today. Leslie Bernedo is a proud Peruvian American mother from Woodbridge, Virginia, and a dedicated member of Dreamers Moms in Action, as well as the National Domestic Workers Alliance. Medicaid is not simply a healthcare program. It is a lifeline for families like mine. For my 9-year-old daughter, who is my entire world, Medicaid has been critical. She's autistic, and Medicaid has ensured she receives comprehensive care through home care services and therapies, such as occupational, speech, and behavioral support. These services are not optional extras. They are essential to her development and quality of life. For the past 4 years, I have also depended on Medicaid for my own health care, especially after being diagnosed with arthritis and other chronic conditions. As a primary caregiver for Alejandra, I am currently unable to find full-time work, so Medicaid allows me to manage my own health while doing the essential caregiving work for my daughter's needs. This support is vital and enables us to navigate the challenges of daily life without the constant threat of financial ruin or inadequate medical care. Recently, I received notice that my Medicaid benefits would be canceled effective February 28th. That's 3 days from now. With no clear explanation, I now face the harsh reality of being uninsured and questioning how I will access the care I need so that I may care for her. Medicaid is a critical safety net that protects families from making impossible choices. Without it, families like mine would be forced to choose between necessary medical treatments and other basic needs like food, housing, and care services for our loved ones that enable us to work. And for domestic workers like myself, the nannies, the house cleaners, and home care workers who care for America's families, but are not guaranteed health care through our employment, access to Medicaid is critical for our own survival. Cuts to Medicaid do not just impact budgets. They threaten the health, stability, and dignity of our communities. Our families deserve security. They deserve clarity and access to care, especially in times of crisis. I urge policymakers to reconsider any actions that would jeopardize the health of so many families like mine. Thank you. And now I will pass it to Mary Beth Cochran.
Thank you, Rosa. Thank you, everybody. Hello, my name is Mary Beth Cochran, and I'm from Canton, North Carolina, where I'm still recovering from the devastation of Hurricane Helene in September. I'm a proud member of Moms Rising and a constituent of Representative Chuck Edwards. I have custody of 4 of my grandchildren, ages 10, 12, 15, and 16, as their parents couldn't care for them due to addiction, domestic violence, and homelessness. I'm here today to urge lawmakers to put families over billionaires and reject any cuts to the programs hardworking families like mine rely on. Caring for my grandkids means the world to me, and I would not change it for the world. I work hard to make sure they have everything they need, but I'm on fixed income and it's never been easy. I work a part-time job making $8 an hour at a coin laundry in my area to supplement my disability. My family is barely making it, At times, I've had to skip refilling my prescriptions so my grandkids wouldn't have to skip meals. This shouldn't be going on. This is not a Democratic or a Republican issue. This is a world issue, a people. We should be caring for our children. The children are the future. This is what we need. We don't need these cuts. Right now, I'm terrified because Republican leaders seem poised to take critical resources away from my family. The House is voting today on a budget resolution that would gut programs like SNAP. But without SNAP, I wouldn't be able to put food on the table. Even with SNAP benefits, it doesn't get me through the month. I still have to rely on food pantries and food distribution sites. It shouldn't be going on, people. With the rising cost of food, we're struggling enough as it is, just like so many others in my area. They're trying to slash Medicaid, which is the only reason my grandkids see a doctor, including my youngest who has ADHD, autism, and PTSD from surviving 2 floods in our area in the past 3 years. Our children should be able to get the basic necessities they need. They should be able to go to the dentist, get their teeth cleaned, the simple things. I've even heard Head Start is under threat. Head Start helped my grandkids come out of their shells while preparing them for kindergarten. Any cuts to these programs would be devastating. They would mean kids would go hungry and their education would suffer. Our overall economy would be harmed. I don't understand why any lawmaker would threaten programs that enable families to survive. But it's appalling to know that Republicans want to slash these programs so they can cut taxes for billionaires and corporations. Instead, I want lawmakers to permanently expand the child tax credit so our nation's kids can thrive. When that child tax credit was in place, I, for the first time, was able to get a used vehicle to transport my children to their doctor's offices. We should not be struggling. I'm 56 years old. Please, families like mine are counting on Congress to put the needs of our children above the interests of the ultra-rich by voting no on the budget resolution. These businesses don't need any more tax cuts, like I heard the other night on the news. McDonald's doesn't need any more tax cuts. Please think of the simple little people like myself and other families that are struggling every day. Thank you for your time. I now hand it over to Katina Moss.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for having me here today. My name is Katina Moss, and I live in Richmond, Virginia. I am one of the more than 630,000 Virginians who will be kicked off Medicaid if Republicans in Congress get their way. Yes, that's right. They want people like me to lose our health care in order to pay for Donald Trump's tax cuts for the rich. As a Gen Xer with elderly parents, Medicaid supports my family's well-being. It allows me to run my own business, care for my parents, and still have health care for myself. Medicaid works. But now, Republicans in Congress are looking high and low for ways to pay for another round of tax handouts for billionaires like Elon Musk. And their eyes are locked in on Medicaid. Millionaires and billionaires do not need any more handouts. And federal lawmakers should not be entertaining the thought of ripping health care away from millions of people like me in order to pay for this upside down tax plan. Virginia is one of 9 states with automatic trigger language that says if the federal government goes back on its promise and reduces funding for Medicaid expansion, even by 1%, then the entire program ends and everyone in the expansion population loses our health care. That is not only wrong as a matter of public policy, but it is also cruel. Healthcare should be a right for everyone. For everyone. Not a privilege for the wealthy few. We should be focused on strengthening programs like Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act instead of trying to undermine them for bad, irresponsible tax plans. So thank you, Leader Jeffries, and my own Congresswoman Jennifer McClellan for being healthcare champions in Congress. I am ready to fight alongside you to protect our care. Thank you. Now I pass to Whip Clark.
Thank you to Leader Jeffries, to all the advocates here today and across the plaza, and above all, to our special guests for traveling to your capital, for sharing your stories and making clear just how much is at stake for the American people. The Democratic Caucus has a message for you and for every American like Leslie, Katina, and Mary Beth, who is now fearing for the security of their family. We see you, and we are going to fight for you. FDR, in his famous Four Freedoms speech, warned us of this very moment when he said, we must especially be aware of the small group of selfish men who would clip the wings of the American eagle to feather their own nests. That is exactly what we are seeing here today. Republicans are making life harder and more expensive. They are rigging the system against hardworking families, all to satisfy their billionaire donors. They are pushing a budget that stacks the deck against working families, a budget that takes away health care from seniors, from veterans, takes food away from hungry kids, and gives trillions to the wealthiest, most powerful people on earth. House Republicans have shown they will allow their own constituents to be crushed under the weight of their political ambition. Every day, we come to work under the gaze of the Statue of Freedom. She embodies the idea that opportunity and liberty and justice are not reserved for the wealthy and powerful. Stealing tax dollars to give to billionaires is not what she had in mind. The American people see this exactly for what it is. And standing together, shoulder to shoulder, we are going to fight for fairness, for opportunity, for the security of the people of this country. Thank you all for joining us.
I want a copy of that. Thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. I'm calling about
No, I'm good. One more. All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That was amazing. So, all right. Thank you. I'll put it in my treasure box. I